One of the first things that we need when we're designing a website is we need navigation. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up some navigation within your Bootstrap theme. And there's actually one other thing I do want to cover quickly before we get started with the navigation. So what we want to actually do is I'm going to get rid of this, and I want to create a container that's going to contain all of the contents of my Bootstrap design. And with Bootstrap, there's two different options. So there's container fluid, and then there's just regular containers. So I'm going to show you what the difference between the two is. So I'm going to have and I'm just going to have this as row and get rid of the fluid there, save that, and make this, beautify it. So let's check out what's going on our website now. So when I refresh it, we see that we do have a slight variation, a slight difference. I need to add in this class so we can actually see our columns. So let's go back and try this again. So we see that with the top one, when it's fluid, it's taking up all the available real estate. But when we're using just regular container, we're at a fixed width. So it doesn't matter, even though we're expanding our website, our browser size, we see that the fixed width stays as it is. It's nicely centered within the page, and it's not going to expand above this. So I believe this is 1180, so it's preset to not go above that. So it depends. The first step is to determine what type of website you want to design. So if you want to have one that they both are going to resize, and at a certain breaking point, they're actually going to come to look the same way. So whenever we start shrinking it down, at a certain point we see that this one here is actually taking up more of the available space than this one. So even though we shrank it down, we see that there are subtle differences, and that it's reserving some padding here on the left and the right, and this one's reserving a little bit more padding on the left and the right. So it's still centering it. So we have to decide how we want our website to behave. So one of the ways I usually do it is I like to have these fixed widths, because even if someone comes on a bigger screen, it's nicely centered, and I don't like to really overwhelm people with a lot of content, so I like to keep it within that fixed width. So that's what I'm going to do with my website that we're going to be designing within this course. I'm going to keep the container at that fixed width. This is the main starting point of the website to determine what type of container you're going to contain your code in. And then now we're ready to start building out our website. And as mentioned before, if I want to have a website with maybe a menu here on the left hand side, a menu here on the right hand side, I can really easily build it out within Bootstrap. And if I want to have different areas here, so if I wanted to have a row that was maybe all the way across all the time, so we could do something like that. I could also build out like a header, a footer, and so on. So I could build these components out as well. So I could do something like header, close that off as a header, do this one as a footer, and close this off as a footer. And now when we go into our website, we see that we've already got a nicely structured, laid out website, and so this is going to be responsive. So it's automatically going to stack and stack our content the way that we want it displayed out. In the next lesson, we're going to be looking at how to set up a navigation bar. So every website needs a navigation bar, and I'm going to walk you through how to set that up within your website. That's coming up in the next lesson.